Alrighty then, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all of you lovely vault-type people, Welcome back to the Wasteland, and welcome to a brand new season of Fallout 76 on today's date, Tuesday, September the 2nd in 2025. Believe it or not, you've almost made it through this year. I don't know how either, but hey, you did it. So far, keep going. You've got this. We can get through this together, and it doesn't have to be an apocalyptic wasteland. But if you are in an apocalyptic wasteland, let's talk about the new season just a little bit and some of the changes, but not very many of them because that's for another video. Let's take a look really quick at one thing that I do want to bring to your attention before we do anything else whatsoever, and that is if you have Fallout First, the very first thing you do, and I do mean this very deeply and intently, probably because I've said very like 3 different times now, is to go to your score page. Before you complete anything, go over here and claim your 5% score boost. Again, if you have Fallout First. If you don't, I'm not being paid to promote the service, so I'm just going to say you can't get it. So, with that being said, claim that free, do any challenges. You don't want to have any percentage of a point go to waste. Moving on from that, as a result, my scores are going to look a little different than yours if you don't have Fallout First, and I'm going to have a couple of extra challenges that you won't. Now, before we get started on the weekly challenges, which really not complicated, let me make a note. They did aggressively change the perk cards. My heavy gunner build is terrifying right now. I've got unused points across the board. I've got changes that do not matter to me, and I'm going to be saying all sorts of unkind words until I can get this fixed. So there will be another video from me showing off the perk builds that I use sometime within the next 24 to 48 hours. Yeah, because there will be. So just keep your eyes open for that. I don't have it ready yet, as I am not a test server player, so we'll go through it. They did change a lot of things, so my strong advice is to read the patch notes, take a look at some content creators like DG Gamer, Angry Turtle, and a whole bunch of others, and they're covering things pretty extensively, like to an aggressive decimal point degree, whereas I'm going to tell you where to go for this week's weekly challenges. Starting off with that, complete a Gold Star Daily Challenge. Well, you got to do that 3 days in a row, so can't help you there. Build a decoration in a shelter. It's interesting, we got a brand new can't build menu, and they're sending us to our shelters where the build rules have always been relaxed. But hey, if you haven't worked on your shelters in a while, here's your chance. Go build 15 decorations in one. All right, then build a decoration in a workshop or camp. Again, you're going to have to open up the brand new build menu, which looks a lot like this. And I haven't, jumped into it, but I do really like, how it's set up. So this is going to be fun. I think this is going to make life a lot easier. It's a lot of submenus, which is not a bad thing. At least I can actually see how many variants there are of something, which is like I don't remember that I've got 2 variants of a trampoline. Do I sound like somebody who uses a trampoline on a regular basis? No, I'm sure I don't. Nobody would want to see that video. But I mean, this is nice. I'm not gonna lie. So I like this. Um, Anxious to see what our fellow camp builders can pull with that because that's going to be exciting. All right. Complete an event while on a team. Again, remember, you don't have to necessarily be with other people. You just have to form a team and then complete an event. So you can do that on a private server. Drink tea, as always. My favorite is company tea. Comes from a company tea machine, which you usually get in the Atomic Shop. And I think you can get a few other locations. Of course, you can also get tea by steeping a lot of various different plants that you find throughout all of 76. Moving on, harvest a wild plant or fungi. All right, need 30 of those. So with that, as always, my strong recommendations, especially this time, is going to go over to the General Steakhouse. And behind the General Steakhouse, you'll find the General Steakhouse Garden, which is literally right over here. Go over there, harvest, put on the green thumb perk. That would be guess I want to open. Go away. That would be this over here. CEF, unless they moved it. Green thumb. Reap twice as much when harvesting flora. Throw that on before you go harvest that and call it a day. Then, moving on from that, back over to challenges. Next two are fairly straightforward. Kill a blood eagle, so you're looking for blood eagle camps or looking for them in daily ops. As a reminder, the best places to look for blood eagles, Rollins Labor Camp, Widow's Perch, and Crimson Prospect are all outside uninstanced spots where you can pick up a whole bunch of blood eagles. You can occasionally find them as the bad guys in daily ops, and anywhere you see one of these little camp icons right here, that looks like that, which is kind of historically accurate to what the Blood Eagle was, and we're not going to talk about that on stream because I don't want to get demonetized. Moving on. Then following that, kill 25 creatures. So creatures are anything but robots. The Blood Eagles should and usually do qualify. Should and usually doesn't mean always. It is what it is. The reason I suggested going over to the General Steakhouse is because it wants you then to plant a crop in a workshop or camp in free cam. And if you go to the garden behind the General Steakhouse, you'll find plenty of crops to loot and plant and, whatever. There's also the old method of just harvesting one plant, planting it, scrapping it, it returns the plant to you, plant it, scrap it 25 times, whatever way works. Finally, scrap junk to produce bone, 0 out of 15. You can find bones all over Fallout 76. I am sure there are places you can go to pick up a huge pile of them in quick order. My favorite place is just to farm super mutants. So go to West Tech. I think there's some bones being used as chimes and charms right in the front. And super mutants tend to drop a lot of bones in general. So it's going to be something you're going to get them. I wouldn't worry about hunting them down and looking for them specifically. Finally, the last weekly challenge. Gain 10,000 EXP, and every time you do, you get 105 perk points, or 100 if you don't have FO first. All right, daily challenges, collect wood, 0 out of 5. This is collect wood, not scrap junk to produce wood, which is significantly different. So run over to my favorite spot, and that's going to be Sylvie and Sons Logging Camp. That is east of the Sons of Dane compound and the Relay Tower. Also south of Hopewell Cave, which contains a bunch of firecracker berry bushes, brain fungus, and a death claw. Death claws which did get a slight boost, so be careful because they're now supposed to be more aggressive. That's right. The otherwise calm, serene, and not at all hostile death claws are now more aggressive. Then, move on to build a floor, wall, or roof in a shelter in free cam. So again, go back to your shelter, build some stuff, build a turret or trap in a workshop or camp. Straightforward. Complete a daily operation. Well, as it happens, today's DO is decryption. As I'm saying this, mole miners with resilience, so melee attacks only. But hey, as it turns out, shock, awe, surprise, mole miners are kill a mole miner. 0 out of 10. You gotta whack them anyways, so go ahead and just keep that and go flatten them. Take your favorite chainsaw or other melee weapon, some of which have gotten nerfed with this patch. Yay! And melee perk cards have been changed a little bit too, so yay. Alright, kill 10 ghouls. There's probably something I could say about this on a social level, but I'm not. Pop into the White Spring Golf Club, just flatten them. You can probably find around 10 at my other favorite spot, New River Gorge Bridge East. You can definitely find 10 in and around RNG processing services. There's a slew of them that wander around aimlessly in Lewisburg. No offense to the kind people of Lewisburg, except for them, because they're not dead. They're just soaked in radioactivity. And where else can you find ghouls off the top of my head? You can also pick up a bunch over at Freddy's House of Scares and basically anywhere you don't want to run into a ghoul, like Voltech University. So a bunch of places, your pick. And finally, scrap junk to produce steel. Listen, 100%. By the time you get done picking off mole miners and ferals, you'll have enough junk to produce steel, and if you don't, do a bulk scrap. And that's it. So, recap. Shelter time for decorations and building a floor, wall, roof. Build a decoration and turret in your workshop or camps. Complete an event while on a team, so just create a team and play by yourself. I don't care. Drink tea. Again, my favorite is company tea, although a lot of the flora and fauna across Appalachia can turn into tea for you. Harvest a wild plant or fungi. I do recommend going over to the General Steakhouse Garden because then you can plant crops from that you just harvested from one and put it in the other. Kill 25 creatures, kill 30 blood eagles, most of which will count towards the kill a creature, and scrap junk to produce bones. Sadly, not the critically acclaimed show with David Boreanaz that used to air on Fox. That was a great show. Miss it. All right, that's it. Now, one more thing to note: the new axolotl has dropped, or splashed, or I don't know, whatever. And they are going to appear either in the Toxic Valley and the Ash Heap areas. So, where's the Ash Heap? The Ash Heap is all the way up here. This qualifies as the Ash Heap. So, anything around like the Toxic Dried Lake Bed will give you some goodies. Excuse me, that's Toxic Valley. I've got it backwards. Toxic Valley has white ash that looks like snow. That's the Toxic Valley. The ash heap is where I'm standing right now, down here, in the ash heap, which is also where you can find a bunch of Blood Eagle camps. There you go. All right, I'll be working on my perk cards next. I'll get that video posted as soon as I know what. And then I will give you guys some guidelines. Of course, my numbers will be focused on quality of life versus high DPS. So just keep that in mind if you're looking for some perk builds that are going to be like, yeah, you can take down the E6000 Guardian, or sorry, the EN90. I keep confusing it with glue. You can take down the EN90 Guardian in under 30. I'm not going to give you that. I'm going to give you you can kill all these things while drinking your morning caffeine and not paying attention to what you do. That's my definition of a perk build. So, I'll see you then. Until then, have a great week. Be careful out there. Don't forget to use your score boosters if you have them. And as a reminder, those last for 24 hours. So, until then, see those things up there, the one that says use 12? Yeah, they last for 24 hours. If you are in some way a hurry to beat through the modern living, which I gotta admit, I do like a couple of things on here. Like, the miniature Mothman statue is nice. I'm looking forward to having a ragdoll cat. Another content creator I love did not know what a ragdoll cat is. They are like these super soft, they act like they're boneless kitties, and I love them so much. But you can, of course, get a whole bunch of different good and fun things, including the Soul Soup server if you are running a herbivore build for some strange reason. And there's something else on here that I really liked. What was it? I do love these, though. Like, I am not a pink person, but these are adorable. And the spice rack, so looking forward to that. Yeah, I finally don't have to, I can quit harvesting salt. I can just go to my camp, which is going to be great. Save me a ton of time. All right, either way, you guys be good. I'll see you next week. Well, I'll see you earlier than that once I get done cursing at the perk cards. Till then, bye for now.